corporate Democrats have their new talking points ready, and they're bad. So the Hill says, age becomes talking points surrounding 2020 Democratic field. It's a question some Democrats are pondering as the 2020 presidential election inches closer. Can their party represent change when three of its top candidates are not only familiar faces, but people in their retirement years? Senator Elizabeth Warren will enter her 70s in June. Bernie Sanders is 77. Joe Biden will turn 76 later this month. Though the primaries are still a ways off, all three have emerged in the early polls as favorites to be the 2020 Democratic nominee. Some strategists say that might be a problem. Quote, Democrats would be better off with a young candidate, said Democratic strategist Brad Bannon, who argued that an electorate that seems to want change might prefer someone from a younger generation. He put it as a generational battle, this time between baby boomers and millennials. And then they go on to say, there are certainly a number of candidates ready to step up if Democratic voters are looking for a younger nominee. Senator Kamala Harris of California, a freshman in the Senate, is 54. By the way, still not a millennial. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey is 49. And Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is 51. So do you see the trick that's happening here? And let me be clear. That is what this is. It's a trick. They're trying to weaponize identity politics against people who are older. That's what they're doing. Now, millennials, we actually care about ideology and philosophy. So when we say we want to change from the way the system is working, we mean ideologically, philosophically, substantively. I don't give a shit where that change in ideology comes from because I don't care about identity politics. I'll vote for an old white man like Bernie Sanders. I'll vote for a young black woman like Nina Turner. I don't give a shit about the identity of who's making the decisions. I just care that the decisions make sense. And this isn't just me. This is virtually every millennial I've spoken to. Way too much is made of identity politics from the establishment types, and they try to weaponize it to use it for their cynical advantage. So notice the bait and switch that they're doing here. They're saying, oh, see, we care so deeply about change, and we want to serve the millennials so much here that let's go with the younger person. Well, weird. All the people that you listed that are younger people are corporate Democrats. They're establishment Democrats. So it's the same philosophy, the same ideology as the Nancy Pelosi's and Chuck Schumer's and Barack Obama's. But it's a different age, a slightly younger one, so that's obviously the direction we have to go in. It's a bait and switch to actually keep the status quo exactly as it is. Whereas Joe Biden, he's a corporate Democrat, but very clearly the best senator in the country is Bernie Sanders, and the number 2 senator in the country, even though we all have massive issues with her, is Elizabeth Warren. So the furthest left senator and the second furthest left senator happen to be up there in age, and they're weaponizing their age against them, and they're weaponizing their age against millennials to try to use identity politics cynically to smear them and say, come on, eliminate them, they're too old. Let's go with the people who are younger, but we'll continue the status quo and the establishment exactly as it is, and we'll give you 5% change or 10% change, and won't actually try to radically change the system to do what you want them to do. So this is gross, man. This is gross. It's disgusting. Again, most millennials, I don't think, actually care about identity politics. And by the way, if these guys, they're feigning like they care about what millennials want, okay. You know who the most favored politician is, the most popular politician among millennials? Bernie Sanders. So if you really cared about what millennials want, well, then you'd be writing an article in defense of Bernie Sanders and saying he should be the one to win. By the way, I've seen articles already at this point, way before 2020, one pushing Kamala Harris, one pushing Cory Booker, one pushing Joe Biden. I've never seen an article pushing Bernie Sanders in corporate media. Never. I've seen one on every other prospective Democratic candidate, not Bernie Sanders. Isn't it amazing? All the polls show he's the front runner, except for the ones that say Biden is the front runner. But when you dig into the methodology of that, you find out very quickly they oversample Democrats, they oversample older people, and they basically exclude independents and they exclude younger people. So it's biased. It's demographically biased in favor of Biden. But outside of those bias polls, every poll shows Bernie Sanders is the front runner, and he's never written as such. He's always treated as like, whatever, put him to the side, doesn't matter. Guys, they're going to pull out every trick in the book to try to defeat the left. I just need you to know that. I just need you to understand that. So again, that's why, and this is not to toot my own horn because it's not just about me, it's about all of left-wing independent media. That's why we got to circumvent the mainstream narrative. And we have to be so engaged. And in a way, we have to do what Trump did to the Republican field back in 2016, where he kind of circumvented, because remember, the establishment lined up behind every other Republican. They were like, okay, let's do Jeb Bush. Oh, shit, he's the worst politician ever. Okay, Marco Rubio. Oh, shit, he's getting destroyed. Okay, Ted Cruz, we'll take him even though we're not too hot on him. Okay, fuck, he got destroyed. And then Trump trumped, pun intended, the field. Well, we need Bernie Sanders to trump the field. We need to use the power of independent media and the power of word of mouth to get around what they're going to do because they're already trying to fucking stab him in the back. So I need everybody to understand that. I need everybody to know that. I do think there's one upside of this, though, which is we're at the point now where all of these smear attempts are so obviously smears, that they might actually help them. Because this generates chatter and talk among people like us, and the word spreads like, okay, of course, the fucking fake news media is going to go after Bernie Sanders. And it's really unfair and it's really gross, but we need to flip it and use it to our advantage. And this needs to give us fuel to get him elected because remember, it's all about the policies. It's all about improving people's lives. That's what I care about at the end of the day. We know Medicare for all is the right way to go because it would help so many people. We know making the minimum wage a living wage is the way to go. It would help so many people. We know free college is the way to go. It would help so many people. We know ending the wars is the way to go. It would help so many people. So really, that's what it's about. And that's why we support him because it's not even about him as an individual. It's about the ideology he represents. And we know damn well that ideology is not represented by Cory Booker, no matter how much you try to shove him down our throats.